alive. I haven't been fucked to death by koalas. So stick it up your ass, Steve. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first Menace Till Midnight. I will be taking your calls right through until midnight about whatever you want to talk about, pretty much related to the Kirk Minahan world, but also I am happy to hand out life and love advice. So if you want some Menace advice, dial in because we are going to have some fun. So the plan for this show, and the reason I did this show, is obviously the whole world's in lockdown. It's fuck all happening. There's nothing to do. And I thought, what better than it late at night to do a show where Minifans and Mincels can, ring up and just talk about whatever's on their mind. You've come to the end of a long day. You would have heard the show. You would have seen some YouTube shows on this channel, some good, some bad, and then you might want to talk about it. So that's what I'm here for. 11 till 12 Tuesday and Thursday nights. I'm going to be taking your calls. It's Menace till midnight, and so the numbers flashing across the screen. We're going to start taking calls now. But I guess how shit was tonight? I mean, all right, first call. Pipe it through, Justin. Hello. Good first call. Excellent stuff. Yeah, how shit was tonight? I mean, that Bicentennial Man movie was a disaster. It is one of the worst movies ever made. Steve never liked it. He's never seen it. It's just another one of his various lies. What I thought was really bad about this movie was that it was a waste of time for Kirk. I mean, we're literally making the greatest broadcaster in history sit in front of a computer. Okay, here's our call. Pipe it through. Hello.
All right, what's up, Manners?
Who's this?
Scooby-Doo Pinata.
Hello. What's on your mind?
No, I was definitely going to agree with you. I think tonight sucked, absolutely. The worst part was with them talking over it. They missed all the good parts about, the robot talking about all the semen dying and what happens to all the rest of them. There was just a lot of parts they missed.
Yeah, I just think that it was a waste of Kirk's time. I mean, this is one of the most forgettable movies ever. And because of some Steve lie they put on this evening. And as I said, I think it's just a waste of Kirk's time. Do you actually think it's a decent movie, though, at all?
No, not at all. There was nothing to offer whatsoever. But I also think it would be bad with a good movie because that wouldn't be much fun. It was, the best part was watching them shit on it the whole time.
Yeah, would you want to do another rewatch? Kirk's been listing his favorite movies. We could actually rewatch a good movie as Minifans one day. That might be better.
Yeah, I agree. They just need to get some kinks out. It was a different experience, I would say.
Yeah, and just another case.
I love what you're doing, so keep it up, man, and I'll keep listening.
All right, thanks for calling in. Enjoy your evening. Goodbye, Scooby-Doo Pinata. So, yeah, I just think a really bad night for Steve. I mean, this is just another case of his poor taste being on show for the whole world to see. And I guess, look, this has got nothing to do with Kirk, but if say I was employing a producer and they told me one of their favorite movies was Bicentennial Man, I would start to question their sort of decision-making skills, editorially and creatively, if that's something you think is a motion picture that deserves a rewatch. So yeah, another bad night for Steve. Terrible night for him. So look, nothing's off the table on tonight's show. There's lots of things on my mind about the universe. One of the most pressing issues, I guess, is have you tasted your own semen? I mean, it's a question that was brought up on Wednesday's show. I think Mike said he had tasted his own semen, and it was sort of no one paid much attention to it at the time, but then afterwards it was sort of seen as being quite a strange thing. And I just wonder how many Minifans and Mincels out there have tasted their own semen. So call in if you have or haven't tasted your own semen. I'd love to hear about that. Another issue I'm thinking about is, what about the sharing of personal DMs in this world? Yeah, I'm all right. Send them through. It's Menace. Hello.
Ooh, what's going on?
Hey, who's
Uh,
this?
what's up?
Who's this?
Oh, I'm online. Oh man, I'm on there. Hey, it's Jason from Attleboro.
Hey, Jason. What's on your mind?
Well, we were just talking about Steve not watching that movie, which is total bullshit. You can just tell every once in a while he chimes in and he keeps using the same fucking Robotronics or whatever the hell. He just tries to sound smarter than everybody else, just so that way nobody questions what he's saying. But aside from him being a liar, as far as the semen, I I have never tasted my own semen. I mean, hey, when I'm done getting a blowjob, if a girl wants to come over and give me a kiss, hey, honey, take, once that, you know, once that load's gone, it's like the purest thought in your mind. It's like nothing. You might be like, oh yeah, you know what? Maybe I'll try. Man, you shoot that load, fucking, you're just sitting there thinking, hey, how the hell do I get out of here without seeming like a total fucking asshole? So yeah, no, I've never tasted it. And like I said, if some chick wanted to, give me a kiss afterwards, it's like, hey, can use the toothbrush, use your finger, whatever you got to do to fucking brush your teeth. But that's not happening.
So you're a firm no on tasting your own semen.
I am. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I mean,
Not even as a kid, not even when you were growing up, you were like, well, I wonder what this tastes like. A la Mike Geary.
No, but did you? No, I've never. But did you know they sell this stuff called jizz? It's a lube that actually supposedly tastes and smells like it. So maybe I'll try some of that, and get my taste. But no, I mean, I've never been like, oh man, you know what I really want to do is I wonder what this nut tastes like. That's not me, but hey,
each to their own.
If you get a figure, if it was any good, they would be selling. It wouldn't smell like bleach.
Does it smell like bleach though?
It smells like bleach. I get a little bit of a bleach.
What do you fucking drink or eat that it smells like bleach?
Well, I drink bleach.
Disgusting. So back to Steve. I mean, in a perfect world, would you like to see him replaced?
That's the thing that because earlier today I said, I felt kind of bad, and I'm like, hey, let me, sort of, again, not that he even notices, because I think they have this whole, number of followers, and then whether they'll acknowledge you online or whatnot, but I just felt like, hey, shoot him a quick little, hey, sorry, I'm kind of bust your balls, but at the same time, like he's his own worst enemy. He steps in the shit, and he doesn't realize Kirk's smart enough that if you wanted to rip him on every little thing, I mean, Christ, the guy was ready to walk out of there because he had to make a bunch of phone calls. Can you imagine if Kirk actually was calling him out every single time? I think Kirk just gets to a point where
I get 6 new lies every day in my inbox. 6 new lies.
Yeah,
with Steve. Anyway, well, thanks for calling in.
Yes, no problem.
Take care. Yeah, so interesting. Hasn't tasted his own semen. So far we've got Kirk hasn't, Mike has, Steve hasn't, he hasn't. So that's 3-1. But yeah, well, sort of before that call, I was talking about the sharing of DMs. Now, I've been accused of sharing the odd DM in my time. Sometimes you accidentally screenshot a personal message and you might tweet that out by accident or on purpose, as the case may be. But, this is Kirk 101. When Kirk was at WEI, and the Mincels won't know this because they're newbies to this world, they're up and comers. But one of Kirk's signature moves at WEI was to bring on a personal message on air, and it used to really piss off his co-hosts and people he was talking about. So, I would almost think that DMs aren't off the table, and I'd be curious what you think to call in. Are DMs able to be shared? Is it a violation? Obviously, some DMs might be more sensitive than others, but is it a violation or is it okay? So yeah, let me know, have you tasted your own semen, and what do you think about sharing personal DMs? So call in when you get a chance. Everyone's going to bed. Everyone's going to bed. It is late though. This is late night mutt. This is my late night mutt impression. So want to talk about some stuff that was brought up at the beginning of the week, and it was the new Kirk. Now, Kirk said on Monday's show that he wanted less hate in the world. And that was a very surprising statement for a big Minna fan. It used to be the home of hate in the Minnaverse. Now, Kirk is set a new standard. He wants less hate and more love. I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, is this really what we're doing? We're all going to be nice to each other all the time. I mean, is this the new sort of happy Kirk where Minna fans just praise each other? Because I think it's going to be a strange new world if that is what Kirk wants. All right, we're going to call Pumping Through. Hello.
Leonard,
Yes, who's this?
this is Chris from Wakefield.
Hey, Chris, what's happening?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, are you seriously taking calls about fucking your own semen and shit?
Well, I just want to know, have you tasted your own semen?
No, it's a fucking gross thing. It's awful.
Okay.
And
What?
listen, the hate for Steve, I get it. I appreciate and love it. But where else are you going to find somebody with his ability and talent to deliver this show? Where are the Boston Mark? You've been listening to Kirk for years. Who else is going to deliver this?
Oh, that's true. I mean, he's pretty decent at, uploading audio and helping Kirk behind the scenes. Unfortunately, on air, though, he's a bit of a drip.
Your biggest thing is, I think you said from the beginning, right, that you think he's going to fuck Kirk and ruin the show or do something drastic, right? Is that your biggest thing with him?
My biggest thing is I just don't trust him, and I've never trusted him, and he keeps doing things that mean I shouldn't trust him, and he lies every second. I do think he will eventually do something that'll get Kirk in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, I respect the hate. I mean, he lied over 100 times in 6 months, right, of the show. I don't even, he's probably quadrupled that by now. But part of it is the shtick now, and it gets, it makes part of it. He's got fans, people love him. The fucking movie was terrible. I didn't watch it. I've seen it years ago. It sucks. But the watch along thing is pretty interesting for a bad movie. I think with a good movie, it's awful.
Okay. Could you want to watch it?
I didn't watch it. No, I just watched YouTube feed, to be honest.
No, but if it's a good movie, you want to watch the movie.
Yeah, I think like to watch Kirk interact and shit on the movie and talk cake callers is great. You said it was a waste of the time, but this is an unprecedented time in the world, and they're giving us extra content.
Oh, yeah, I just think Kirk's time could be better used. Kirk's time could be better used than watching that movie. That's all.
Well, content though matters.
What?
It's content that we're not getting.
I know. And I love the content. I just think it was maybe not the best use of someone so talented time. With Steve though saying that, there's not many other people that can produce the show. I do think that he would be more bearable if he wasn't on air, because I think part of the problem with him is, one of Kirk's great strengths is he clings to a certain truth all the time. Kirk's doesn't really lie. He might exaggerate things, but he uses truth as the basis for his show. And if you've got someone like Steve that's just lying all the time, it's hard for the show to, even this Bicentennial Man is an example. He lied about liking this film and everyone was forced to watch it. So I just think Steve's got lost, basically.
Steve is a sociopath and he lies all the time, but that's part of who he is. And Kirk exposes it when he can, and it's great. It makes us all laugh. Sometimes you can't keep up with what's reality versus what's his lie. I know. I know you hate the guy to death. You hope he dies. Calling him a cunt earlier. I mean, yeah. I respect the hate. Just don't ever drop it, because if you ever break character, well, they're gonna come for you.
Look, I said after I got Steve suspended, the hate's dissipated a bit. Now I'm just keeping an eye on him. I mean, someone needs to keep this guy accountable because given free reign, he could go, wild. Just who knows what he could do. I mean, last week he was threatening to shoot Minifans. He's been doxing Minifans this week on the phone. He's an unhinged character, and he needs someone to keep an eye on him.
True. I mean, the guy's full of shit. He said he was having the shits and he's eating Twinkies and drinking milk. I mean, exactly. I get it. You've got to get the rights on that shit. I think he wants to be cooped up. He's nervous about the coronavirus, thinks he's going to get it, and is taking it out on people. He's reacting to it. But I think listening to Kirk for years now, seeing the producers around here, you're not going to get anybody at his level and his skills. I understand you're going to make it look like he just pushed the buttons. I think what he's been doing behind the scenes to drive this show has been underestimated by folks like you.
Okay, well, I take it on board. He's a hard worker, Steve. I wish he'd been here to build some studio stuff for me. He would be good at construction. But thanks for the call, Chris.
Thanks, Manners.
Take care. That was Chris from Wakefield. So, yeah, I was talking a bit before about Kirk talking about wanting less hate in the world and wanting everyone to be a bit nicer. And I must applaud the psychiatrist or psychologist that Kirk is seeing, because they've clearly got the meds right. Because for Kirk to be saying he wants less hate in the world means that he is quite heavily medicated, clearly. And we saw, as a result of that conversation, nickel's worth of free advice came out with Andy Mayo and Red from Reddit. And it was a nice show. I mean, they were very nice to all the Minifans. It was very softly spoken. Mayo, it was very nice and quiet. And they had a nice conversation and complimented a lot of people. And, that's the sort of stuff Kirk wants. He wants sort of not bland, but I guess, less edgy content. He wants us all to get along. All right. Hello.
Insecure?
Hello. Well, that was short. Like me. Short like me. So it's obviously working. Kirk's getting some nice content. I know Latino Kirk is not happy with my opinion on his show. Before Kirk said he wants everyone to be nice, I said the show should be cancelled. And Latino Kirk lost his fucking shit when I said his show should be cancelled. He really was triggered by that one. And I have to say, I haven't changed my opinion. I don't think the show should continue. I know I do not make these decisions. It's 150% just reading the personal messages. I just think it's not quite entertaining enough for the channel. And you wouldn't want people coming to the Kirk Min Show YouTube and seeing that and thinking this is what they're all about. Now, do I have the decision to exit? Absolutely not. Do I think I should have the decision? No, but I wouldn't mind it. I mean, I wouldn't mind making some programming decisions, but again, not my place. I just go along with it. So Latino Kirk, he lost his shit about that. And the other, got a call. Hello. You with Manners? Manners till midnight. Another prank call. Now I know how Mike feels on Go for Geary. So, yeah, what else is happening in the world? Okay, so Super Lemon Haze guys, they were allowed to air their show on the they were able to air their show on the channel earlier this week. Super Lemon Haze, and really nice guys. Have to say, really nice guys. Both of them, lovely guys. But fuck, their show was incredibly boring to start, incredibly bad. And this is one of my pet hates when it comes to podcasts, is when anybody, but two guys, think they can just sit around shooting the shit and people are going to find that interesting. it just rarely works, unless you're incredibly entertaining and talented. If you just sit around talking about shit, it will be boring. And the Super Lemon Haze guys started off their very first show on the KMS YouTube channel with this long, boring story. One of the guys was so high he couldn't speak. The other guy had a firearm. It was just, look, again, not my decision. It was a nicely produced podcast. I don't need to hear about your kids. I don't need to hear about your troubles. Hello.
Hey, Manners, what's going on? It's Eric. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Lemon Haze.
Oh,
all right. Can you hear me,
Eric?
Okay?
Which one are you? Which one are you? Why are you laughing?
I'm the guy
I don't know.
I'm the guy with the beard and the tattoos, holding the gun.
Okay, dark hair. All right. So it was your friend that was too stoned to speak.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello.
So So I happened to just log in. Can you hear me? Yes or no?
Yes, you fuckwit.
Hold on a second.
What a fuck. He can't. He's fucking hopeless. Jesus Christ. You know how to use a phone, mate? Justin, hang up on this
Not
guy.
me, buddy. Can you hear me?
Hello. What a moron. Eric. Now I know his name. The guy with the dark hair. Hello. Eric.
You cannot blame me for that, Manners. That's clearly technology. I'm talking to you perfectly well on my phone. So unless Apple's got a glitch going on,
I'll just blame you for your talentless podcast.
But I happen to just log in when you were talking about our podcast. So I just wanted to at least be on, have a conversation with you, maybe defend ourselves a little bit. Because
so can I give you some advice?
The last thing I heard. Go ahead.
Okay, so when you started your show, you're just fucking chatting about your kids and all this rambling on crap. Just get into it. If you want to talk about weed and why it's good for you, don't make us wait 20 minutes to hear your fucking bullshit. And what's your friend's name? Like, he should not be hitting the ganja before you record because he was sitting there fucking mute.
It's a good point. I actually did mention that to him. I'm like, dude, you gotta lay off before you come to record, because clearly a couple times, because this is actually the 6th or 7th time we've done this. We've only got we only just got that one show on the YouTube channel. So we've done this a series of times, and a couple of the times I'm like, dude, you're fucking wasted. I'm like, this is not going to be good. And that inevitably, I have to carry the whole show. So, it's less of a conversation. And then I fucking hate hearing myself, myself talking after a while.
You could have fooled me the way you rabbited on. You could have fooled me.
Yeah. But I guess the thing is that I totally hear your point, and we actually did another recording tonight, and I think it's actually a lot better because you're not the only person that said that. So I think, and again, I was trying to say this to some of the other people in the Discord who also had the same feedback. It was sort of like the instructions that were given to us. It's like, all right, man, this is your first shot.
Who gave you those instructions, Eric? Who gave you those instructions?
It was so basically, I think everyone else said, listen to the opposite of what this person's instructions were. So was it
Mike?
That was the basic. No.
Okay.
You could have name names.
Okay.
I know, Manners, you like to call out people, but I just want to make sure that the point is that it was the wrong advice. I should not have gone in that direction, because that's not my style. And that was I just took that advice because I was so excited to get on this fucking thing, and then I'm like, all right, man, I'm just gonna do it, whatever I was told. But it was the wrong way, and I think today's is gonna be a little bit better. But you're right, it's just he and I shooting the shit, and I think I'm just trying to figure this whole thing out. I'm enjoying the process. I really do like doing what we're doing. But I'm open, man. I like fucking criticism. I take what you're saying, and I fucking took it to heart. And everyone else that's giving feedback, I just want to get better at it. And I hope it does get better. And if it doesn't, then fuck it. I'll stop doing it. But I don't know. In the meantime, I'm having fun doing it. And I love the fucking show, and I love the fucking content. I love all the fukeing shit you guys are doing. And it just makes me want to be a part of it. So,
okay, well,
in the end, maybe we'll just be sorry if I'm talking over you.
No. Keep, what were you going to say to end up on that long rambling point?
No, exactly.
I think what I'm just trying to say is, like, if after like 3 or 4 times we do this and it just fucking sucks and we keep getting the same feedback, like we just gotta get better, then maybe I'll just stop asking for what I'm asking for, to be on their YouTube channel, and we'll just
No,
keep
there's no way
growing
you should be on this channel.
ourselves
There's just
until we
no
get
way
better.
Eric, you should not be on this channel ever again. I mean, it's not the right fit. I don't know how you can you not see that?
I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you at all. I actually disagree with you about that point over all the points you make, and I'll
Good.
explain to you why I think that's wrong. Because I think there's 2 different segments of the population. Like, I think, Kirk appeals to a whole wide audience, right? You agree with that, right? Like, there's people like myself. I'm in my 40s, so I've been following along with like WEI and the whole fucking thing for like years. Before this whole thing became even a podcast. And I think there's like a newer, sort of sect of people who, aren't coming from the same direction as me.
Come on, Eric, get to your point. This is why you podcast this shit. Get to your point. Make your point. What is it?
Okay, so my point is that, like, I actually think that the things that we're talking about appeal to a lot of people. I think there's a lot of people like me with kids who smoke, who drink, who are, trying to get into the whole health and wellness thing. I mean, I know you don't like Latino Kirk, but like that thing did take off. I mean, people really were interested in getting their heads and their minds and their bodies in check. So I think there's a huge audience out there that is going to enjoy what we're putting out there. I think the problem is it's not so much the message. I think right now it's just the practice. I think Scott, my co-host, and we just need to get better at what we're doing. And I think in the end, what you'll see, Manners, I promise you this, the more chances that we get, the better it's going to get. And I think you'll see that it fits in. So maybe it doesn't fit into like the whole Barstool world, like the kind of the Intel thing, where I feel like that's a little bit more hip, it's a little more edgy, a lot younger crowds. I mean, these guys are literally probably half our ages. I don't think that's the crowd that we're going to appeal to, but I think there's a lot more mature people that are going to.
You and LK need your own channel. Maybe KMS can start a health and lifestyle channel. But Eric, thanks for calling. As I said, I would make your show 25 minutes. 25 minutes. That's what I'd do next time. I agree. And cut the other guy out. Bye-bye. Nice to hear from Eric. God, he waffles on. No wonder he's got a lot of work to do on his podcasting. But I take his point. Look, hey, if people like the content, if people are into LK's show and Super Lemon shit, then go for it. Because, if you like it, then get into it. Now, speaking of getting into it, the Minna ladies were looking pretty good tonight. Tara and Lauren Lynn, as always. And then Brandy, of course, is back. And Tara really won me over when she said that she doesn't mind short guys. Now, I was speaking to a few women recently that have been very prejudiced towards short guys. They've said that height's, one of the most important things they look for in a man. And obviously me being, a dwarf pretty much, or a very, very, very short person, I cannot offer those qualities to a woman. So it sort of narrows the amount of women that would be interested. Of course, I'm happily married, but, Tara said height wasn't a big thing for her. So instantly she's moved up the Minna ladies power ranking. She goes straight to the top. So we've got Tara, Brandy, and Lauren at the top. And I really like their show. I think the three of them, it's a nice perspective on things. It's what Kirk wants. He wants some more wholesome, nice entertainment. None of that mean stuff. Send him through, Justin. None of that mean stuff that Kirk was known for at WEI. He wants everyone to be nice and soft and fluffy now. Hello, welcome to the show.
Manners, how are you?
Good. Who's this?
It's Lindsay.
Hey, Lindsay.
Called me Lindsay Cunt.
No, I remember. What's happening? Where are you? What are you doing?
I'm just chilling.
Yeah, what did you want to talk about?
Have a great show.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, that was Lindsay, or as I call her, Rich Kelleher.
Can I just pop in for a second?
Yeah.
So she was in the Discord chat last night with like 20 other people, and I was in there, and nothing gets accomplished when there is a female in that Discord chat. It's just she's talking about her bra size, and everyone's asking her stupid questions, and she's like, "Oh my goodness, it's it just aggravates the hell out of me because it was like we're trying to have a conversation, and then everyone would be like, "Hey, Lindsay, are you a real fan?" It's what I just had to.
That could be Matt Carano or Rich Kelleher.
Yeah, I don't know, one of those. People think it's an AJ plant.
Maybe she was very upset when we said that on Discord,
but who knows?
Yeah. So Justin, you can hear me, can't you? So sometimes I'm like, if someone goes on like Eric, I might just get you to bang on the call when they're rabbiting on. Yeah, but call up. Come on, you Discord people. Now's the time to call. Half an hour of Menace till midnight left. I want to know if you've tasted your own semen. I want to know what about sharing your personal DMs? I would confidently say that I've tasted my own semen. Like, not that I've gone out of my way, but there's been some pretty wild, crazy times where I'm sure I've tasted it. I can't remember like actively going, I'm going to take a big taste test of this, but I just think to think you haven't tasted your own semen at all would mean you're probably not very good in bed. I mean, let's be honest. Be interested on your feedback on that. Now that's going to get them talking in the live comments. So, yeah, Mincel, the other news on the Miniverse is the Mincel guys. Now, I was on the Mincel Intel show earlier this week with those losers, but they are getting promoted by Barstool.com. That guy who owns that domain names, directing everything to the Mincel Intel page, and that episode I was on. So that's getting good views. I just wonder what the future of the Mincels is. I mean, they're all young. They're clearly obsessed with Kirk. They also love the attention they're getting. I wonder where this is all going to go for the Mincels. I can see them burning out soon and maybe being lost. Or do they have the metal to stick it out? Do they have the fiber that the Minifans have for the long haul? I mean, Minifans are resilient. I mean, one thing, I wonder how the Mincels would have coped with the Entercom days and the problems with Kirk being on and off air. You really had to work hard to keep up with Kirk. So I wonder if the Mincels have got the metal to stick with Kirk throughout his journey. They've just hopped on now. The show's not even a year old. So I love the Mincel guys. Apart from John, they're all great. No, John's good too. They're all great. Some of them are young and pretty stupid, but they're doing well for the world. They've got a lot of energy. And yeah, at the moment, their YouTube page is going off because of this link from their YouTube episode from Barstool.com. Justin, any calls?
Nope, nothing's coming in right now. But when you get one, you'll hear it.
Good.
I'm posting in the Discord trying to get people to call. I'm trying to get people to watch. So we'll see.
I mean, it is late. This is the late night craziness. This is the late night craziness of Menace till midnight. You can also call in with your favorite tube galore categories. If you've got any that you want to just put out there for people, people got nothing to do, they can check out some weird and wonderful categories on Tube Galore. Now, maybe let's just go into something that Matt from Providence tweeted about me earlier in the week. This was his tweet. Here we are again with another fine example of what being a Kirk Min favorite Minifan can do to a man. At least it took me a few months to lose my shit. Kirk Club, which is me, went off the rails basically overnight. Hello.
Stank the Tank from Tennessee.
Hey, what's going on in Tennessee?
Not much. Just we survived a tornado a couple weeks ago. It's made my life a living hell with this coronavirus. But hey, life goes on.
It does.
Got a question for you. Question for you, Menace. I haven't listened to a lot of this tonight, and you may have answered this in either tonight or another show somewhere. But I'm curious, how does a guy from Australia like yourself, who seem to have a pretty successful little thing going on over there with whatever you do, I'm sorry, I'm not really with your cricket and stuff.
Mhm.
How do you get drawn into the Kirk Minahan? How did you get drawn into the Kirk Minahan world, all the way from down under?
Yeah, look, it's a good question. I originally found Kirk on the WEI podcast, so I was quite into Boston sports a while ago, and WEI had a lot of podcasts. Well, they used to podcast all their radio shows, and as I said, one day I just heard Kirk. He was really pissed off at somebody, and he was ranting and raving, and that was when I first started listening to him in about 2014, and then I just followed him um, over the last 6 years. But really, since he started the podcast, because podcasting is my world. That's when I've been really sucked in to the Miniverse, and it was certainly a slow process. But I really do feel like I'm part of a cult now. I didn't ever go out to sort of try and be in the show. I just actually, what happened was when the Minifan show stopped with DC and MHB. I did think there was a gap. I think that it's so important for Minifans to have a forum of reflection at a time when you can sit back and digest this crazy world that we're a part of. I'm not talking about the real world. I'm talking about the Minahan world. And so when MHB and DC were off air for a while, that was when I thought it'd be a good time to start a Minifan show and get some fan chats. So that's how I got involved. I've been completely sucked in. Here I am on a Friday afternoon in Sydney, doing a live show, taking calls. But the thing is, I just love Kirk. I mean, Kirk's a genius. I love listening to him. He's taught me a lot about broadcasting. He's taught me a lot about how to get the best out of yourself as a broadcaster. I think that, he's incredibly courageous on air, and that's something that he's rewarded for by having, thousands and thousands of loyal listeners because of that honesty, that rawness, that ability to talk from his heart. And sometimes he amplifies things to hate and all that stuff, but it is still from a place of honesty. Like, he's a moody fuck who gets annoyed, who gets pissed off. I mean, of course he's a moody fuck. He was in fucking a mental home 3 weeks ago. What am I talking about? He just is an inspiration. I mean, he is, right when he was going through the terrible stuff with losing his parents and in and out of being on the Kirk and Callahan show, his honesty, his ability to put himself out there and is second to none. And, a lot of broadcasters don't have that. They get fucking scared. I mean, look at Steve Robinson. Since he talked about his parents in the first episode, he basically lied since then because he's too afraid. He doesn't have the guts that Kirk has. Sure, I understand people can't do it. Not everyone's got the kahunas that Kirk has, but so that's how I got into Kirk. I listened to Enough About Me a lot. Listened to all of Enough About Me, all of his stuff on Kirk and Callahan, and endured that horrible period when he was off air. And him having a podcast now it's one of the best things that's happened in, well, I'm not going to say probably in my life, I would say. I mean, that's probably not an exaggeration, that the freedom that he has in a podcast, and I don't know, the way he's been able to create this world, even though that includes Super Lemon shit and Latino Kirk, the way he's been able to create this world just shows what a genius he is and what an amazing talent he is. I mean, this was nothing. Under a year ago, this was nothing. And a year later, he's got people traveling all around the country to see him. He's got people doing shows on his YouTube channel. The listening audience is growing. It's just an incredible achievement from Kirk. And it's no mistake from Kirk. So I've got a few thoughts about Kirk while there's no calls. And from today's show, a couple of things struck out at me. Firstly, the fact that he reads 2 books a week, that is hardcore. I mean, that is some serious reading. I mean, he must be a fast reader, but if you're reading 2 books a week, that is some seriously good brain food. And it did lead me to think of what Kirk is like at about 8:30, 9 p.m. at night when he's tucked in bed with his chalky milk and his book, and he's got his glasses on, and he's there with his wife, and he's probably just having weird conversations. Like, he'll turn to his wife and say, "Oh, TJ Hubbard called in today," and then he'll go back to his book. So Kirk is a genius. Reading 2 books a day certainly shows how smart he is, but very technically inept. I don't know if you saw him at the beginning of the YouTube live rewatch, but he could hardly get his headphones to work. I mean, it's strange that he's not that much older than me. I think he's maybe a year or two older, if that. And he's so technically inept. He's like a 70-year-old that, plugging a USB microphone, which is not hard. You just plug it in and make sure it works. I mean, that's all you're really doing. You're going to the settings, and he couldn't even do that. He had to get Kate to help him. So I think that's kind of cute. It's very kind of, I don't know. It just shows, you can't be good at everything. Kirk, he seems like he's good at everything, but he's not quite very good technically. So that's kind of good. So, then my Kirk's thoughts for the day. I think we should all look at reading more if we want to keep up with Kirk. Can't imagine many of his listeners are readers, though, or semen tasters. Thank God we got a call. Hello.
Hey, Menor.
Hey, who's this?
You hear me?
Yeah, who's this?
I don't hear you, Menor.
Hello.
Hello.
Justin, sort this out. Hello.
It's his phone. He can hear you.
Maybe a prank call. Could come up with better material, though, than I can't hear you. Oh, yeah. So before the last call, I was talking about Matt from Providence saying I was losing my shit because, Kirk said I was his favorite Minifan at one stage. Let me be very clear about this. And I just outlined how long I've been following Kirk for. My only, it's not even a name, is you just know that it's going to change. So if you're his favorite Minifan one week, a week later, you could be his most hated Minifan. So you should never get ahead of yourself. It can change in a blink of an eye with Kirk. Just one little comment, one little thing, and you can be in big trouble with him. So I never let it get to my head that he said I was his favorite Minifan. Did make me feel pretty good for a few minutes, though. But what I do hate is all this fake hierarchy bullshit in the world. And we saw Matt from Providence start off with that a few weeks ago on Mike and the Minifans, the way he was talking to the Mincels. Now, there's only one hierarchy in this world. It's Kirk, and then there's the rest of us down here. That's it. Kirk is at the top, and we are down the bottom. And I think, there's no ranking in that. Kirk decides. He's got his Mount Rushmore, but that's it. Kirk decides all that stuff. All of us should just be happy that he doesn't hate us that day if he doesn't, and just get on with shit. So I hate all this fake hierarchy bullshit. It really drives me up the nut. Drives me nuts. Drives me fucking crazy. So I don't know if I'm allowed to hate because Kirk wants me just to love and be nice to everybody, but it's hard for me to do that. I am by nature a cunt. It's just, it's just a lot of hate in this little body of mine. And sometimes it comes out. Sometimes I can control it. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes koalas cop it when I get aggressive because you can just throw those fairy little fuckers around. So as I said at the beginning, Kirk wants us all to be nicer. So I've got to dial back the criticism of the other shows and try and be more positive and say some nice things. And there are lots of really good YouTube shows on this channel. The Minifan show is doing well. We've got, I said before, I think the Miniladies is a good show. Nicholsworth of Free Advice, they're nice guys. The OG Minifans, Steve and TJ, they do a good job. Now that they've got microphones and you can hear them, it's even better. Justin, anyone calling up?
No, we got no calls, but I have a question for you.
Oh, good. I got something for you too. Go on.
So all the comments, so one of the attacks on you, which I've never really got, is they call you an social justice warrior. Where did that come from? Is it just because you don't like Steve and he's such a right winger, or where did it come from? Are you involved in some sort of left wing political Australian party? I'm not even sure what the parties are called.
No, look, it started I made some off the cuff comment that I don't care about American politics. and I said that, your country elected Donald Trump. So, it's obviously the political system's fucked up. But I am not a social justice warrior. I'm probably more right-leaning than left-leaning. Probably a bit like Kirk, financially and the way governments run, sort of more right-leaning, socially more left-leaning. But I think what happened was, I think I just got a little bit annoyed at that SJW comment at the time and bit back. So the Minifans are very good at picking up at a weakness.
At what sticks? Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm not very politically motivated, especially not by American politics. Obviously, for Australians, we do pay a lot of attention to American politics, but it's a bit of, it's not, we don't have a vested interest in it, so we're just kind of following it. So yeah, I think that's where that SJW came from. Certainly, I have like Steve's politics is not a reason I don't like him. Like there's 1,000 other reasons I don't like him. The fact that he's a Republican is not one of them. I mean, it just doesn't bother me at all.
Oh, because I just see people will comment like, "Oh, here comes SJW, here comes Social Justice Warriors Menners," and it's like I don't really maybe I just forgot where that came from, or when you said that thing about Donald Trump. I will say it must be funny from like an outsider's look to be like, "Oh, Donald Trump is now the president of the United States."
Like,
but to be honest with you, like I have no idea who the prime minister or the president of Australia is.
But why would you? We're a tiny little fucking country in the middle of the Pacific. I mean, America's, a global superpower. So that's, and Australia and America are quite close. Government on a government level, they're quite close, but also socially. I mean, if you came here, Justin, now it wouldn't look that different to America to you in that you see the brand.
You guys have to vote, right?
We have to compulsory voting.
Yeah, I know that.
What do you think? I think it's a great idea, compulsory voting.
I don't like the idea of telling anyone they have to be involved in politics if they don't want to be involved in politics. I'm sure, like on paper, it sounds great, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like it can just be manipulated way too easily.
Look, I think what's good about compulsory voting is it makes, and look, we've got a much smaller population, so we couldn't really have the same system as you because if do you guys
have because I know Australia is about the same land mass as the United States. Do you guys have like different is it broken up in provinces?
Yeah, we have states. I'm in New South Wales. But the thing about compulsory voting is it makes everybody think about the process, and it makes everybody make a decision on who they want to lead them. Some people spend a lot more time on that decision than others, but I still think it's important that everybody makes a decision on who they want to lead them. And if you don't vote here, you get fined $100. And I almost think that's fine. Like if you don't want to vote, okay, take the fine. So you do have an option, but you wouldn't get something like Donald Trump getting elected if everyone had to vote. It just wouldn't happen.
But would you also get someone I don't know. I don't want to turn this into a political show, but would you get someone like Hillary Clinton getting elected?
Well, no one's watching, so we can do that.
But you said you had a question for me?
Yeah, I have on my list here. Have you heard from Intern Nick? He's been talked about a lot since his revelation that he's, a Mormon and engaged. And
so
has he been in touch with you?
We have a intern chat and stuff, and we're going back and forth. And he's like, damn, I think it was the Tuesday show that they started talking about him. And he's like, they're really running with this whole virgin thing, aren't they? And I don't think he's actually a virgin. I think what happened was just if you hear that someone that young is getting married, your first thing is just like, oh, either I don't know what it's like in Australia, but like either it's like, oh, they're doing it for like military benefits, or they're doing it because they're super Christian and they want to wait till they're married to fuck.
Same here. Yeah.
So he never like confirmed or denied it. I don't think it's I probably should have asked it on air, but it was just like, if you're in a conversation with someone and they're 21 and then somehow they just throw out that they have a fiance, you're not going to just brush that off like it's nothing.
Not at all. So he's okay. He hasn't asked to leave the world yet or anything?
No, I know he's not. I know he's not too happy with Will.
for bringing it up on the show?
Well, yeah, because Will bring anything up on the show, which is fine. But like one time he just put my phone number, like my actual phone number, like on the Discord, because like it was 30 minutes before an intern show and I was, driving to my house. So he just put my phone number up on the Discord. So I still get random calls from people. And he's just like, oh yeah, now you can get me back sometime. It's just, I don't know.
Now, Justin, switching tact. Have you tasted your own semen?
Have I tasted my own semen? I personally have not.
How?
But listen, I remember, this is going to sound super fucked up, but I remember I was in 7th grade and I was home from school. I think I was sick or something. And, I'm in 7th grade. So it was Jerk Fest, 2009. And I remember making a chicken patty and I was like, what if I jerked off on the chicken patty and then ate it? I wasn't able to finish because I already did it like 4 times that day, but I wasn't able, but I thought about it. And that's the closest I've ever come. But no, I've never.
What prompted you to think about jerking off to a chicken onto your own chicken?
I don't know, to eat it because I don't know. I was 13 and I was like, oh, this would be fucking something to do.
Wow. Well, so you haven't. You swear to God you've never tasted it.
I swear to God.
Because I think I've probably tasted some, like
Well, like
I've
probably tasted some accidentally, but I've never been like, oh
yeah, I've never, yeah,
like.
If I'm trying to think if I tasted it when I was a kid. I'm mid-40s, so I can't remember that far back. But I don't think it's that crazy a revelation. Like I think a lot of guys.
Oh, I don't think it's as weird as people.
No,
I don't think it's as weird as people make it out to be.
No.
Like I think the reaction to Mike was very reasonable. It was just very like, oh, yeah, you probably was bored one day and just said,
yes. It's not like he ate his own shit or something.
Yeah, no. I have a dog that eats her own shit. It's not fun.
You could probably pretty easily get Mike to eat his own shit though because of his blindness. Like if you put some food down and then just swapped it when he wasn't looking, he'd probably just dive in and pick it up and put it in his mouth. That would be quite funny.
I should get him on April Fools or something.
That's right. Now, Justin, behind the scenes, and the callers have been amazing tonight. Thanks for everyone for calling in. Always a risk when you do a late night show. Clearly, the bicentennial viewing just killed everybody. Literally, like I think people committed suicide during that film. It was just a train wreck. But you produce a lot of these YouTube shows. Is there anyone behind the scenes you find sort of difficult to deal with? Is there anyone? Steve was talking about Mayo sending him the file, and then basically when it was uploaded, saying I've got a better cut. Are there any annoying people behind the scenes?
No, so I work with the OG Minifans, the Miniladies. The Miniladies are great. I love Lauren. She's kind of like the head. She gives me she starts a new chat with whoever she wants on the show, probably Saturday, and they figure out what they want to talk about over the course of a week. Steve and TJ, they're really chill. They know, they let me do my thing when it comes to producing and making the titles. Who was really, you know what? I'd probably say Will. When we first started doing the intern show, he wanted everything scripted out. He wanted things like, okay, so I say this. Like, if you go back to, I think it's
Latino Kirk puts his penis in my. Go, continue.
I think it was like the second episode we were talking about Top Gun, and he said a line like, so you don't know who Maverick or Iceman or something like that. Like we had that conversation 5 times and we literally wrote it down on a piece of paper. And I was like, this is so cringy. Just like, oh, I'm going to say this. And then you have this reaction. I just feel, I hate that. I hate fake fighting. I hate fake. I just hate fake.
Yeah, well, that's
everything in this world.
And that's what annoys me about Steve. He's got into this habit of being fake about everything, and he doesn't know which way is up anymore.
I will say Steve's been like, as much like as he talks shit about me, like on the podcast, like I'd say off the podcast, he's incredible. Like to me, he's the nicest person to me.
How can he be a fucking psychopath on air though? I mean, he's screaming at Minifans, he's lying. I mean, behind the scenes, when I deal with him, it's very brief. It's, can I do this show? You know, there's not a lot of fluff between Steve and I, as you can imagine. But yeah, why is it though that he can't be a bit more of himself than on air?
I think he is himself on air, and that's the thing. I think it's like
No, he's not. He always lies.
I think that's like what his true self is. His true self is he's always constantly lying. He puts on this face where he wants to try to be this normal person, but deep down he's talking about snapping puppies' necks and how he wants the apocalypse to. I think that's the real Steve.
Speaking of people on the hot seat, Mike has been getting a lot of calls. Well, the show has been getting a lot of calls criticizing Mike this week. I don't know if you've been picking up on that, Justin. There's been a lot of people just, criticizing Mike, giving him advice on what he could do better, what he could do worse. Well, what he could do worse, that would be no good for the show. But I guess what I'm saying to you is, Justin, do you think they could try somebody else just to see how it went without Mike, or do you like him in the show?
I like Mike in the show. So I'm a Mincel. I started listening to Kirk in August, so right after Cullinane came back. So I went back and re-listened to all the episodes, but so I don't know Kirk without Mike. I do think that having another person in, I'm not sure who that person would be. I know people have said this Mutt guy. I've never listened to him before. Apparently he was fun with Kirk, but I think Mike's a good sidekick to have.
Yeah, I love him.
I do think if there was like, because I do think that a lot of people want like a Jerry Callahan or someone on Kirk's level, and I just don't see that happening.
No, I don't think Kirk wants it to happen. I mean, I've been saying all show, he just wants a nice show now. This is the new Prozac Kirk. Just everybody be nice to each other. We saw a little bit more of Kirk in Thursday's show. He got a bit angry at certain stages, but yeah, you're right. Kirk doesn't want to fight with anyone. He just wants everyone to be nice to everybody. What's your favorite cat? Go on.
What's my favorite? What?
No, you go on. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, I don't think he's just wants people to be nice to everyone. I just don't think he likes gatekeeping. I just don't think he likes people saying, I was here before you. You don't know what it's like. I can't stand that. And I also can't stand that when it's fake either. Like, it's just, if you're going to have a fight, that's why I can't stand the person who shall not be named, is because he would go after me and then he'd just be like, oh, we DM me like, oh, this is all fake, by the way, like, ha ha ha. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, either we're gonna fight and it's real, or we're not. And like, I'm not gonna pretend to hate you if I don't hate you.
Yeah, I hate that as well. That's my pet hate, is when I'm beefing with someone on Twitter and then they send me some message, hey, this is just a joke. I mean,
yeah, it's all a joke. It's all in good fun. I don't like that.
Fuck off. It's actually not a joke. If I'm fighting with someone on Twitter, I'm deadly serious, and I don't need them sending me a message saying, oh, we're friends, aren't we? I mean, fucking grow up. I mean, if you're being called out for something, own it. That is the worst. And that's why I think if you send one of those DMs to somebody begging for some leniency, you deserve to have that DM published. All right, we're coming up to midnight, Justin, so we're going to be finished soon. But I guess just because everyone's going to log off soon and probably a lot of guys are going to masturbate, what's your favorite Tube Galore category?
Tube Galore. So I'm not a Tube Galore guy. I'm a Pornhub guy.
Okay, what's your favorite category there?
I'd probably say I like teen, amateur. Okay, like,
so this is just very sick. You like teen, amateur. How old are you, Justin?
23.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Like, I like the hotel.
If I said that, that'd be very weird.
I like the hotel room, like the girl sitting down being like, oh, this is my first time doing, and they get like a little backstory and they're like, oh, my boyfriend doesn't know about this. Like, that's my kind of thing.
Okay, so you're like DC, you like them young, shaved, and very little nipples, palm-sized titties.
Palm-sized titties. That's right.
Okay, well, I'm a girl-on-girl action. That's my favorite category. I mean, which guy doesn't like seeing two girls do crazy shit to each other? I mean, everybody likes that. Well, viewers, I guess, Justin, we should wrap this up. It's coming up to midnight East Coast time. How many calls did we get? Can you see on there?
Let me see. We got like 10.
Great start. This is the beginning of a long, long road. We're all in lockdown. It could be weeks and weeks and weeks of being stuck at home. So Menace Till Midnight will continue. Justin, thanks for producing the show, and tune in next Tuesday night at 11 p.m. for Menace Till Midnight.